with a new thing, like we want to start with a business, and I've just experienced this, you're all excited and it feels like it's going to work. And you haven't yet thought through the barriers that you might come to, especially if you're starting a business for the first time. So we have something called a failure mode and effect analysis in engineering, FMEA. Has anyone heard of that name before? I really hope someone has. You have. Okay. I'm the only one. It's just a big word for trying to think through the barriers that could happen before they happen. Because humans don't like to think like that. So we have to force ourselves. So once we've thought about it, then we can think of a way to overcome it. But if we just walk with our eyes closed, we might walk into a wall. And we'll be like, surprise. So which would be better? So today we're going to talk not about a negative thing. We're not going to talk about barriers to think negatively. We're going to talk about a positive thing to decide how we can overcome. All right. So whether you're looking to write a CV, or whether you're looking to start a business, you're going to have the same difficulties. Both areas have their strengths and weaknesses. Okay, let's start. So what are the barriers that have stopped my progress that I can overcome today? Now, if you've been on a journey of filling in a CV for a long, long time, you'll probably already know a lot of the barriers that you've had. If you're starting a business for the first time, you might not yet have experienced some of those barriers. A very good example would be Eddie. He's got a legal barrier that is absolutely a wall in front of him. He doesn't have to figure out what his barriers are. It's right in front of him. So for him, that part of working out what is my barrier is very easy. Now he's got to work a bit more on how to get over it. For some of us, we haven't yet thought of the barriers. And so we need to spend some time thinking of them so that we don't get to it and then have to decide what's going on. Obviously, you can't think of all the barriers, but it helps a heck of a lot to try. So, let me just close here because it's echoing. So, firstly, how did you come to be without work? I want us all to write that down. Now, if you are running a business profession, how did you come to be in the situation where you're, like, think of the times when your business went, when you were getting in less work. Okay. How did you come to be in this group? What happened? Some of us, Gav, we know what happened. He had a stroke. It's not difficult to figure out what happened. For some of us, we just have to sit and think back and go, wow, I did X, Y, Z, and then I got this, ABC result. And if I carry on doing X, Y, Z, I'm still going to get ABC result. So can we write down at the back of our books what brought us to this point? Bible, when Isaac was walking with his family, he would, Abraham or Isaac, I forget now, he would get to a place and then he would move on. So he would settle in a place, which would be compared to settling in a job, and then he would move on, which is where we're doing, or we're looking for a new opportunity. So when he would do that, he would do two things. The one is, he would build an altar, and he would burn the things, he would burn a sacrifice to God. And the other thing is, he would make a milestone and say, and praise to God, and he would say, this is what God has done for me, let me remember it. So there are certain things that in your life that you need to burn. They've robbed you up to now. Now, if you go back to a previous situation where you were in a good space and now you're in a situation where you need to find a job or need to find more work, what are those things that have robbed you of your opportunity to find work? Because it's definitely not everything. You'll probably find, if you look hard, there's a heck of a lot of good stuff there. There's a lot of strengths, there's a lot of positive things that you displayed. And we tend to think in our mind, let's burn all of it. But let's find the specific things that we're going to burn, and then let's change. We spoke in the beginning of the course about our habits. What are those habits that we are doing that have been unhelpful? And it might not just be habits, but it might be other specific behaviors or things that we are accepting in our lives that we need to burn. And then, what are those things that we spoke about it last week. What are we good at? What are we passionate about? What are those things that actually we need to take with us? And we need to do double of it. Because that stuff is actually going to carry us into the next season. What are you going to burn, and what are you going to take with you? So what we need to do is we need to put those things that are good up in a place where we can see them. I've put it in my study, I've put it in on my whiteboard in front of me. But there might be a place which you know about where you can see the view. Put the stuff up, you need to encourage yourself. This is what I'm taking with me, guys. We are much better off when we are focusing on our strengths. Because then we are drawing people towards us in that area. And when we're focusing on our weaknesses and always trying to fix the things that we're not good at. So this is where we're going to split into two groups. So, Carol, can you do this exercise? I want you to write for yourself a list. Just take a few minutes to write down on a page how you'll overcome the barriers and the steps you'll take to do what you are good at. So you've written down some barriers, and you're going to write down how you're going to overcome them. And next week we're going to try and do the same thing on a bigger scale. We're going to try and write a story about it. So this is just a practice round for next week. So write the things that you're good at and and the barriers that you're facing and how you're going to overcome them. Almost in story format. Okay, so you can go and do that. For the rest, I want to show you a special tactic to get a business strategy. So you guys have just talked about the barriers that prevented you in the past and the good things, the things that you're good at. So now for your business, I want you to write down a business profile. When I say a business profile, it's just a description of what your business is going to be. So if you're going to go into, you're going to do events. Your business is going to do events. Each event is going to be based on a country. Customers can come and choose what country would suit their specific needs. Then you'll have a list of things that you need to buy, and you write all of that down on a Word document. If you take a day to do this, it's not a lot of time, because you're going to set up a business with it. Okay? Yeah. So you put your business profile down, and you put it into ChatGPT like this. So I just want to make sure, is there anyone here who hasn't yet gone on ChatGPT? Okay, everyone has. Because now we're going to make it work for us. So I'm going to go on over here. I'm going to start a new chat. And then I'm going to click over here. So now I've got my own business profile over here. Here's my business profile. I've written my business name, my purpose. I've got 3 different taglines, my vision, why am I doing it so I never forget, my personal profile, my strengths, my challenges, my opportunities, my strategies, and here's a bit of an elevator speech. This is my business profile. Okay. So now I'll go there and I'll add it. You say add photos or files, and I know from experience that you have to close this thing before you add it, heaven knows why. And then it loads it in. So then I'm going to say, I'm going to do another document with my barriers and my strengths. I've already put it in here. Well, you can put it in the same, it doesn't really matter. Okay. And you make sure that you've attached it. Now you're going to do a 4-part question on ChatGPT. I don't know if you've ever done that before. So the first part is going to be context. ChatGPT loves context, as much detail as possible. The second one is going to be role. ChatGPT will give you a very generic, bland, pathetic answer if you don't ask it to take a certain role. So, I'd just like us to practice this quickly. Gavin's got an easy one. Who would be the best person in the world to give you advice on how to sell those? If you could pick anyone to give you advice. If you had access to Gordon Ramsay.
I was just about to say that's the only name that comes to mind.
But you'll know better than us. Who's the best person to give advice? And it doesn't have to be a name. You don't have to give a name of the person. What type of role would that person play?
Well, my brother is a financial advisor.
You need a financial advisor. Very good. Okay.
But that's
okay. Who else? What about a chef? Would a chef be the right person to advise you on what to sell at a flea market? And you've got to think through this.
So context is at school.
Okay, but just remember, I'm asking ChatGPT to play a role. So you can either choose a generic role like a chef, or you can choose a famous individual like Gordon Ramsay.
Famous. Heston, Bloomfeld.
Okay.
Chancellor.
Okay. So I'm not going to do it now, but it would be quite exciting if you had to type. I want to see what it comes up with. Now you can say, play the role of Heston so-and-so. I don't know his name.
No.
Okay? He knows this guy. ChatGPT knows this guy.
Yeah.
And he will give you advice in his line of thought. Or you can say, like I said, play the role of a manufacturing consultant in Europe, because that's where I'm trying to get work. I don't know what's going on in Europe, or the leader of a recruitment agency in Europe. Play the role, act as, let me do that, act as a recruitment agent in Europe. For some reason, it didn't upload my file. I don't know if there's a problem. So context, I can say, I want to get work as a remote manufacturing leader in Europe. Now, the more context you give, the better. Now, I press Shift Enter, just to make it easy for me to read. With ChatGPT, you just have to press Shift Enter instead of Enter so that it goes another line. So then I say role. Act as a recruitment agent for remote roles in Europe, in the manufacturing industry. Okay, I can say a highly experienced. You can use those things, okay? Then the next bit is very interesting. I'm going to ask it to interview me and pull the information out of me so I can get more context about exactly what I want. So I'm going to say, the next one is interview. Ask me the top 3 questions required to get information about how to get work. Okay. And then the last one is task. Based on my answers above, recommend the top 3 strategies for me to get work. Okay, now you can put a lot more detail in than what I have now, but I want to show you quickly how it works, because we haven't got a lot of time. It couldn't load my document because the internet isn't fast enough or something. So I'm just going to reconnect here. So this Word file is the same. What's in the Word file over here is exactly the same as the context. So you can pretty much, you can put it all in the Word file, or you can type it all in the context. But with ChatGPT, it doesn't matter which one you use. about this is it knows what's going on in Europe. Lots of things that I don't know, it knows. It understands currencies and problems that they have with electricity. I don't know that stuff. So it is taking a long time. I do apologize. There's obviously a bit of a connection issue here. But with this method, it will help you to develop an improved strategy for your business. This is one method of 10 that I can show you. And once you've put all those barriers in, it will also recommend some suggestions. You can say to it, after this, you can say, okay, this barrier that you've identified, give me the top 10 strategies. And I'll give you 10 different strategies, and you can pick them. Now, the key thing about ChatGPT is you are the driver. You're the pilot. Don't think this thing's going to solve all your problems for you. You are solving the problem, and this is the co-pilot. It's just doing, it's helping you, it's assisting you. You're always in the driver's seat. Gav? ChatGPT has never ever made a bar-one sandwich. Never tasted it, doesn't get the feel for it. Okay, so don't let it run wild. You're in control here. But let it do all the hard thinking. Really.
For example, like, say I'm interested in like how do you go about securing a contract?
Yeah.
You could ask ChatGPT.
I'm just saying, something like, like I haven't done it with anybody to have like a contract for a year or 2 years or something for a business, but it's something that I could look into
Absolutely.
with my business,
To secure, like,
contracts, yeah,
to secure constant, yeah.
like monthly orders or whatever, but so
You
get a
can
contract.
write your goal in here, whatever your goal is. Sure. I really am struggling with the internet here.
Yeah, usually it's quick, it starts typing really.
Yeah. Let's try again.
There we go.
Okay. Okay, it's going to start interviewing me.
ChatGPT.
Which type of European country manufacturer are you targeting? Food and beverage, automotive, etc. And then I put those answers in. I say number 1, food and beverage. Number 2, remember to press Shift Enter. Types of roles you pass. Consulting. 3. Yes, I am legally prepared. But if I said no, it would give me a set of instructions for how to go and register. The reason why I'm prepared is because I've just done it. I've just got income from America. So now, based on those answers, I'm going to give you the best strategy to develop over here. It tells me which companies to target. It tells me how to go and look for those companies. Then I can say to it, number 1, how long is it likely to take for me to land a role? How likely am I to get a role? By the way, these questions are brilliant for ChatGPT because the whole of ChatGPT works on probabilities. So when you speak to it in probabilities, you're speaking its language.
What did you say about the shift and
Sorry?
Shift enter.
shift enter so that it doesn't
So
end?
you don't actually send the.
Right, shift
the-
enter.
yeah.
And then give me weekly the to-do list or schedule of actions to do to work towards getting a role.
Great question, Andrew.
It's going to take me 4 to 12 weeks. And this is probabilities. It's working on probabilities. how likely are you to get a role? This is what you've got. So it'll tell you how long. And there it gives me a schedule. Monday, I have to do this. Tuesday, I have to do this. ChatGPT loves this stuff, by the way. Now you start going through this, you can print it out and you can sit and think about it. You didn't have to do all this thinking. This is maybe 8 hours of work, and it did it in 8 minutes. Plus internet time, because the connection was bad. But now that it's done it in 8 minutes, you can take your hours of time thinking about how to ask different questions based on this, what it's got over here, because it doesn't actually know doesn't know where you live, it doesn't know the people around you. You know that stuff, you got that context. So then you ask it another question. Hey, but I actually don't think that I can manage Wednesday's task. Well, give me another way to do it, and then you create your own strategy. And then when you've got it, then you don't think afterwards, you just do. Every day you measure yourself by how much you've done. Because then you've got to stop thinking. And you've got to go and execute, because that's the really hard work. And every morning you have to wake up and trust what you're doing. So for your events business, this is magic. It knows a lot of stuff that you don't know. What business are you going to do? Selling of items. Transport, that's right. There's a lot of stuff that this knows about the transport industry that you might not know. There's a lot of options that have been investigated in the past that you've no idea of. And all of those barriers that you wrote down, it'll tell you if they're real or not, and it might bring up new barriers that you haven't thought about. Okay, did this help? If you just stop working and spend a week or 2 doing this, it's worth it. Rather than walking into a wall. So this is what I did the first time that I decided that I wasn't going to work in South Africa. And then a week later, I started following those things, and a week later I got an email. That was the first Thursday that I presented here. And subsequently, it gave me this heck of a difficult schedule. I had to go to one of the guys in the church and do videos and photographs and create a website, create my own website with an AI program. Yeah, I'm too embarrassed to show you.
I don't really recommend doing that for very obvious reasons.
Yeah, no.
We're going to take this and summarize each paragraph. Summarize information.
Yeah, no, the reading.
Okay, so guys, obviously I didn't do this for your benefit, but I think the principle is clear. I would love to hear from you and find out whether you were able to do it at home. You don't have to put the stuff into a file here. You just type it out. Context, type it out.
Do you mind sharing that on the group just
Yeah, I will do.
Thank you.
I'm very interested to find out how you guys experience it. Is this too technical for this group? It's not very technical, eh? Pravesh, is it a bit technical?
But this is
Easy.
amazing. I use it all the time. I use it even for if I like for invest like if I'm doing an investment that I need advice on it, I would screenshot my investment that I'm busy with and put it into it and ask it to just evaluate it. And it would evaluate it and say you should take whatever extra cash you have and put it here and do this or it. And so I just play around with it. a lot,
Okay.
and it helps.
Alright, so you've given me the answer that I was hoping you would give me, which is you guys are willing and able to do this.
Yeah.
So next week when we arrive, please make sure that you bring some form of this and your story that you've written, Carol. And we're going to add that next week is exciting. Okay. And next week we're going to finish up with we're going to add that to a story that we're going to write. And this is going to be the plan that we're going to follow. We still got one more week after that, but this is going to be the plan that we're going to follow, and we're going to ask our change circles to hold us accountable. I'm going to say to them, look, I'll give you the schedule. Ask me next week if I followed it.
Another thing, I mean, I'm just speaking, I'm also just speaking up from the group, right? Is like I'm sitting here as a business owner. If there's more of us, more business owners sitting in this space, giving ideas, and you know what I'm saying. I don't know if maybe you guys picked up some ideas from what I maybe just by talking, you know, maybe picked up some ideas. But I'm saying if there were more business people in this group, together with the people that's looking, could create also a lot of opportunities as well. Because like I say, I'm being vulnerable with my weaknesses in my business, and those are opportunities, you know what I'm saying, for people that are looking for work, you know.
100%.
So if there's a whole lot of business people that's in the space, it could create opportunities to get in those spaces. People that's looking for jobs.
Parts of documents that are relevant.
More people like more business people. You know what I mean? Not just you know what I'm saying?
Like you say, but you need people that could find
Yes.
somebody who could help them with
Immediately I would
something.
say I need you. I need you. Jump in my car. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think that's also could be an idea to have people that have businesses together with unemployed people together in one space as well.
So
It could work.
Yeah, 100%. The place where we're trying to do that is the marketplace ministry.
Right.
We haven't yet had you stand up and give your profile, your business profile,
Right.
and Gabby, and whoever else is going to come and bring their business. I'm very excited to see what happens when you stand up, and what connections get made between business people
Right.
and the people in this group.
Right.
But 100%, this is what we're here for. I'm really excited by the number of connections that have taken place over this time. I'm very, very excited. So let's keep connecting. Thank you very much. Don't forget about Vaughan, eh? Vaughan can still help you.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Vaughan's going to help me. The reason why I've done my own website is so that at least I can give him a template of what I think I want. But it was quite interesting because I'm
So
actually doing
Vaughan again,
this.
what does he do again?
Okay, so Vaughan is really an expert in what he does. He will either use the website that you have, or else he'll create a landing page if you don't have a website. But I think you're on that path already.
Okay.
So he'll take your website and then he'll look at Facebook, he'll look at Twitter, LinkedIn, all of those things, and he'll find the best source for you to go and get work. And when you do advertisements on those organizations, you pay for them. You pay per click. So what you want is a predictable system that would say, if you can use it for your transport business, if I get a click, in other words, if somebody clicks on that thing, then they're going to buy afterwards. And you can predict how many people are going to buy per click. And it's high. Well, he'll only send out to the 20 people that he knows he can get business from. They won't know that you're targeting them, but he's got a very, very good algorithm to understand who's going to buy and who's not going to buy. And the results are incredible. Because the fact is that 90% or 80% of what internet marketers are doing on those social media platforms are not paying for themselves. But they are paying for the 20% of guys that are really getting a lot of value. So he's going to put you in that top 20%. It's not website creation per se. Although we have people in the church that can do that.
I think
It's
it's called like funneling, so he'll direct.
yes, there's funneling and SEO and all of that stuff. Yeah. But I just think in the modern day, there just isn't a faster way to grow your business. Things are not like they used to be. This stuff is like, it's very, very predictable. He might tell you, look, you only get to get your money back, it's not really worth spending at the moment. But he'll know. That's the cool part. But for a guy like you, I mean, you could really benefit from that service. Obviously in a new upcoming transport business, you've still got a lot of barriers to overcome. You know, you don't want a whole lot of people to phone you on the same day and you can't give them the service. That doesn't help you. Probation's been going, how long have you been going?
10 years now.
10 years. Yeah, you know the ropes. If you had to get more business, it wouldn't be a problem for you.
It's a matter of being out there,
Yeah.
there.
So, yeah. Yeah, let's connect. Thank you very much, guys. Is there anyone else would like to say? Cool, thanks once again for joining. Let's pray. We've got time for prayer if you guys want to join. Okay. Thanks a lot. I'm really excited to hear you guys' stories about what you did with this.